Hello and welcome. Today we've got Melissa Redpill, and today we are going to be discussing the Supreme Court and Robbie Wade, who is responsible of all the disastrous abortions that we want to put away and put an end to it. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and Melissa choose our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Melissa, thank you for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
Hey, so much. I'm so glad that we're getting together to talk about this today. And it's just so wonderful. You know, you and I have been fighting for so long. So many of us have just been fighting to try to expose that this is not what they say it is. This is not about choice. Clearly, because the masks, right, are they don't want us to give choice when we choose, what to put in our body and a mask, right? So I think it's all of this is working together, and it's a wonderful day. So we don't have a lot of time today, so let me jump in and share the screen if that's okay.
Sure, Melissa, while you do that, I wanted to ask you, just for the viewers who are watching for the first time, would you like to explain who exactly Robbie Wade is and what you think is going to happen with the Supreme Court and the advantages? Of course, I'm presuming that you're going to show us all of that now.
Yes. So this just happened last night, 7:30 Houston time. That let me just stop sharing just for real quick. Okay, so it just dropped way late last night, but So Roe v. Wade is what they say gives the constitutional right for someone to have an abortion. And they clearly, push this way, way out. I mean, just like after the child is born, I mean, it's just been outrageous in the United States how they've used this. And they've always talked about, my body, my choice. Well, clearly that's not where they're coming from. So basically, and President Trump even said this and I'll show you the little clip of that. When he was running, he said, do you want to reverse Roe v. Wade? Chris Wallace asked him that question. He said, when he gets 3 Supreme Court justices on the court, then it will happen, And so a court case has reached, it wasn't really a court case to reverse Roe v. Wade. It was on some other issue. Anyway, bottom line, it's forcing the court to do what they should have done long ago, which this was a non-constitutional, law all the way back from the beginning for what Roe v. Wade. So.
Well, absolutely, Melissa, because I know that there are some states in the US where they're allowed to, take a life away from a baby who's just been born, and they call this abortion. What do you think about that?
Awful. It is straight from the pits of hell is what I think of that, and so thankfully, we've all been, realizing how evil this is. Sadly, immediately after this was leaked, it was not the decision, but it was just a preliminary decision. And one of the clerks leaked this to Politico. And so that never happens. I mean, I don't think this never happened. Laura Ingraham actually worked as a clerk for the Supreme Court, and she was livid. She said, this never has happened. It never can happen. That just really messes up the trust of the court, that for them to be able to make rulings based upon the law and the Constitution and all of that. But so that's one of the biggest things right now is, well, so why did this all come out? Immediately people are out there beating on drums and protesting. I mean, the ruling hasn't even come out yet. And so that's one of the things I was going to show you also. But the first thing I want to show you is how the Chief Justice, the top justice, had put out something. I want to show you that first. Let me see if I can make sure I get to the right screen. All right, we good? You can see my screen?
Of course, absolutely.
Great. Okay, so all right. So this is the statement from Chief Justice John Roberts. This just came out. So let's check this.
Root and Branch, Mike Davis. Yes, Steve, the Chief Justice just put out a statement on this leak, and I'm wondering if you want me to go over that first before we talk about. Please. So this, the Chief Justice, to the extent this betrayal of the confidences of the court was intended to undermine the integrity of our operations, it will not succeed. The work of the court will not be affected in any way. We at the court are blessed to have a workforce, permanent employees and law clerks alike, intensely loyal to the institution and dedicated to the rule of law. Court employees have an exemplary and important tradition of respecting the confidentiality of the judicial process and upholding the trust of the court. This was a singular and egregious breach of that trust. That is an affront to the court and the community of public servants who work here. And this is important. I have directed the marshal of the court to launch an investigation into the source of the leak.
So they know who, this was given to Politico. They know who it is. Basically, this person would be disbarred for doing such a thing as this, leaking this information. And likely they feel like, you know what, we've been sitting in wait for the day when this would come out and we would play our role. And they feel like they'll be protected and they'll get some other job. And even though they won't have their law license, they'll have, have some cushy job somewhere because they're trying to save abortion. So, so that's what's happening right now. So I wanted to go ahead. Did you have any thoughts on that, or I'll go ahead and show you the next screen?
No, I'm going to let you carry on because you're doing a great job, like you always do, Melissa.
Thank you so much. All right, so I don't know why this isn't coming up on the screen. Let me show you this one. So immediately, people were out beating on drums and carrying on last night. You and I, we barely even hear about it. And they've already got someone out on the streets carrying on. And if you notice here, they've already got the barricades up. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is so planned and coordinated. I do not find it coincidental that this happened on the very night when the 2000mules.com came out. This is a big deal that they were showing all the 2,000 people who participated in stuffing the ballot boxes, 2,000 mules who were going around putting all these ballots. So this happened yesterday. I don't know. Was that a big deal where you are? Had you heard, you guys talked about that very much there?
About which part? Sorry.
The 2,000 mules, that movie.
No, not.
Yeah, so that just came out yesterday too. So much of this comes out. And so it was so funny because I was, my focus was, hey, who's seen that movie? This is a premiere. This is showing how these people went a coordinated effort to fill these ballot boxes. And these people, all these 2,000 people who did this, they have video of them doing this crime. And so, they need to arrest these people. That should be really what we were talking about to bring down this election.
I am the worst person to ask about movies. I do not watch any movies. I'm more interested in food.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, this was a big deal that was happening here in the States because we were all trying to promote to go out and support this movie that was done by Dinesh D'Souza and with True the Vote, and to explore and explain what they did, that they paid these people and they literally go over with a ballot, with a stack of ballots that they just signed themselves, and they stuff them in ballot boxes here and ballot boxes in each county, and they take a picture of it before they stuff the ballot in the box, and they get paid for doing such a thing. Okay, so that was really should have been the hot news yesterday, but clearly this overshadowed the news coming out about the election. That highly acclaimed video, Dinesh D'Souza, Catherine Engelbrecht, all of them who are trying to expose this election. So I just find that very coincidental. We can't say that
on YouTube, okay? So we're gonna say I'm gonna mute that election stuff out, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I wasn't even planning on talking about all that, but sorry.
We'll just say we'll just say the November the 3rd event that was taken.
Right. Thank you. All right. So anyway, sorry about that. So yeah, this is what, I thought was very coincidental that this came out just on that very night. So no one was talking about that movie that was exposing all of that crime. They weren't talking about that. They were all talking clearly about Roe v. Wade being reversed, which is just gigantic to stop this abortion. Now, what would happen is then the ruling would go back to the states and not, as a Supreme Court issue. Okay. And so it was another funny thing. I don't know if I have a clip of this, but Amazon on this very day made a ruling that anyone who works for them would have paid leave and travel expenses if they had to go and have an abortion. So what does that tell you? It's like they all knew this. This is so coordinated how they're doing all this. They know about this and they work together to coordinate. So for example, let's just say that, Texas says no abortion is illegal in our state. I'm just throwing this out there. Let's just say if this ruling comes down and then Texas says we're not going to allow any abortions in our state, then Amazon would say, okay, well, we'll pay for your travel expenses to go to a state that does allow it. Okay. So the good news is I think we're at this part, you always talk about this spiritual awakening that everyone is rising to this higher level. I think that we're getting to this point where we're just not going to have this. We're going to protect the children in the womb. We're just not going to have a society where we're allowing such a thing as this. I just found this very, very interesting, and that the barricades were already up immediately. Okay, so here is what was posted by the 17th letter of the alphabet. So on Truth Social, he's actually posting, which is so great. And he's actually posting almost the exact same second that President Trump is posting. It's really, really cool to watch. Anyway, so he said, when was the last time we saw a leak from SCOTUS? We're living in unprecedented times, folks. No draft decision in modern history of the court has been disclosed publicly while a case was still pending. This is completely unprecedented, just completely against all the rules of the court. The unprecedented revelation is bound to intensify the debate over what was already the most controversial case on the docket this term. So I want you to see that. Okay, so this is a guy, Mark Taylor. He was one of the ones. Have you heard of Mark Taylor? He's just really a great, great guy.
Oh, of course I have.
Oh, okay. You know about Mark Taylor. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
I've listened to him, to his prophecies.
Yes. I think I might even have the prophecy here somewhere. I wanted to read it, but he had put down that Roe v. Wade would be reversed. He
what you mean the
that.
November the 3rd events that would be exposed and reversed, and we would see Trump? Is that what you're talking about?
No. He. I don't think he had said anything about that. Maybe he did. But he said that Roe v. Wade, this ruling which allows abortion, he said that would be reversed. That's on one of his prophecies. Yes,
because Mark Taylor did say that Trump would win a second term. So I don't know if you were referring to that being reversed as well.
Okay. Yes, I forgot about that. You're right. I had forgotten about that. So I was looking at Liz Crokin's site, and so everybody go and support her. They're attacking her in big time. So everybody try to go support her, send, go. She's just such an amazing patriot. But yeah, so she brought up about Mark Taylor. Now, Mark Taylor was the one who got me to realize that the whole point of them trying to get us to feel like we need to escape Earth in a rapture, and that we're not, don't worry about fighting the beast because you'll be gone anyway. He woke me up to that and helped me to start piecing this all together. So he was the one. And of course, about my book, End Times and 1,000 Years of Peace, you guys. That's my book. That it's really because of Mark Taylor helping me. It's so funny because you learn one thing from one person and another thing from another person, and you start connecting these dots, and each one of us doing what God is leading each one of us to do. Anyway, so he's always been so powerful on speaking about getting in the fight. Don't think about escaping. Think about fighting this evil beast. And he always talks about this. Look at this post he just yesterday did. The food source for Baal, Moloch, is about to dry up, with the Supreme Court about to overturn Roe v. Wade. This is huge. This is their sacrifice. This is so evil. People think it's about choice. No, it's about, this is their sacrifice. This is like, someone might not believe in Satan, but these people do. And they are doing all this evil stuff. So he's bringing this out. He says the enemy will not be happy about something that has had control of, empowered him for decades. It's about to be ripped from his hands. God is on the throne in full control. So he says, watch out for false flags. They are not happy about any of this. It's kind of funny. Angelina Jolie was with Nancy Pelosi in Ukraine. It just made me wonder, because I think that both of them are like high priestesses type of thing. I just made me wonder, what are they doing? Some kind of ritual type of deals because they know all this is coming down and they're losing their power. Wow. This is such a spiritual battle. It's not even funny, but that I really appreciate him showing that. Oh yeah. Here's the picture of the barricades. They were already up. This was posted at 9:10 p.m. last night, and they already had this up. See how totally, coordinated all this is. Now, this came out on MSNBC, and they are just, panicking. Check this out.
That's part of what's so shocking about it, is that it seems like a signal flare, right? I mean,
can you turn it up a little bit, Mel? Because we can't hear it.
Desperation, right? 50 years that has built up to this moment, in which a sustained attack on reproductive rights in this country by the political forces that lost in Roe and then again in Casey, to gut it, to whittle it away, to try to sort of eviscerate it, everything but overturn. That this is the moment is here. The wolf is at the door, and they're going to overturn Roe.
The sky is falling.
Look at these people. This is just so they like the world has come to an end if they can't do this. What does that tell you? It's just pure evil. All right. Then again, this is just at 8:38 p.m. last night. I guess this is probably Eastern time. So really, right after this was leaked, Bernie Sanders has to come out, and he says Congress must pass legislation that codifies Roe v. Wade as the law of the land in this country now. So he's wanting Congress to act. If the Supreme Court is bringing this down, he says Congress has to act and codify this, make this a law of the land that you can do abortion. If there aren't 60 votes in the Senate to do it, and there are not, we must end the filibuster to pass it with 50 votes. I mean, just forget the rule of law, forget all the rules that we've always lived by. We have to have abortion. That's what they're basically saying. It's just satanic. Crazy. It really is. It's scary.
So then Jonathan Turley. Is this person's name Roe v. Wade?
The lady's name was Roe, who years ago that they used, and who in this case, and she later on she had an abortion, and so they used her for their own evil purposes. And later on, she came out and said she wished that she had not done this. She was so heartbroken, and she realized that she couldn't undo it. And it was just, she could never, she just couldn't forgive herself for what she had done. And anyway, so it was really, heartbreaking that they just used people for their own evil agenda, right? So then Jonathan Turley comes out, and I don't know, maybe it was before or after, but he's saying that's exactly what they're doing. When they're leaking this, they're wanting to use this politically so that they would get a ruling in the Congress in case, instead. So removing it from the Supreme Court, moving it to the Congress. So he says that the alleged leak of the opinion of in Dobbs versus Jackson's Women's Health Organization is nothing short of breathtaking. It would constitute one of the greatest breaches of security in the history of the court. It's just gigantic. The article represents the greatest crisis that Chief Justice John Roberts has faced in his tenure on the court. It's a breach of the most fundamental obligations and traditions of the court. Then later on, he says, okay, here we go. If this is a true copy of the draft opinion, it is hard not to view this as a malicious act. What is the motivation of releasing such a decision? The only intent of such a leak is to trigger a response from outside the court. They're trying to get Congress to codify, and that's exactly what Bernie Sanders said. All right. So then, of course, Politico knows that Politico received the leak. Politico said the Supreme Court has voted to strike down. This is the first thing that happened. Voted to strike down Roe v. Wade according to initial draft majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito and obtained by Politico. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled, Alito writes. That's wonderful, amazing news. But of course, it has to be overshadowed by all this drama. So here is where President Trump was asked by Chris Wallace during one of the debates, and look what he said. Uh-oh.
But Melissa, we can't hear it. It needs to be louder than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can't hear it from here.
Bottom line on this video, he asked him, do you want to remove would you want to remove Roe v. Wade? And he said yes. And if he did put in 3, I'll put all these notes in the show notes. Freedomforce.live is my site, you guys, freedomforce.live. And I'll just call this Roe, ROE. Okay, Roe. But yeah, so he said yes, that he would, once he put in 3 justices, which he did, then that it would automatically happen, because then they would have the correct ruling. This is, this is not, brain surgery. This is so very, very obvious.
What was Trump's answer to this in this video?
Sorry, he said yes. He said that he would be putting in 3 constitutional Supreme Court judges, that he would be doing that. And then when he installed 3 justices, then they would overturn Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why the volume's not. And I don't even see a button where I can push the.
I mean, we can hear it. It's just very, very low.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I don't even know. There's no button. I don't even know why. It's this is already. I'll try it one more time. Maybe that.
That's really what's going to be. That will happen, and that'll happen automatically, in my opinion, because I am putting pro-life justices on the board.
Were you able to hear that?
I let you play it just in case the viewers on their devices, they're able to play it on their device. But I can't hear it that much.
Okay. He did say, he just said that he was going to put pro-life justices on the court.
And Hillary doesn't look very happy, does she?
No. No, she does not. No, she doesn't, which that makes me happy. Anytime she's unhappy, I'm happy. It just works that way.
Of course.
All right. So that was okay. So a couple of other quick things before we go. That is that the whole Sussman trial is coming up on May 16th. So you guys mark your calendars, because that is where it's all coming out that Sussman was working for Hillary, basically, when he was coming to the FBI to tell them that Trump was a Russian agent. That was really clearly it was false, and that it was he was just doing it because of Hillary paying him. So Hillary and Podesta and Mark Elias and all these ones who've been working on this Russia gate to try to frame President Trump as a Russian agent, they are all coming out saying that you can't use this information, Durham, because it's attorney-client privilege. Well, but why would you say that? Because Mr. Sussman was just coming on his own out of the goodness of his heart. He's not working for anyone. That's what he said. We have the text message that says he wasn't working for anyone. So which is it? So so it's coming down around their ears. And this will, everyone's been like, when are we going to arrest Hillary? This is coming to Hillary's doorstep, and it's game over for them on this. So there's a lot happening every day between Roe v. Wade and this movie 2000mules.com. If you haven't seen that, you guys go on there and support them and watch that with this trial coming up that really Hillary has thrust herself into the middle of. I mean, so much is happening. It's very exciting. Okay. Last thing is that Elon Musk, Liz Krogan just posted this. I hadn't seen it, but she shared it. Elon Musk, it posted that NBC is basically saying Republicans are Nazis. Same org that covered up Hunter Biden's laptop story had Harvey Weinstein's story early and killed it, and built Matt Lauer his rape office. Lovely people. That's amazing that Elon Musk is calling these people out for their crimes against children, which does remind me. I think I maybe sent you the link yesterday to maybe help me to promote the skippydoodah.com. There are very few events where we're raising money, grassroots, to help support the children who have been, who need to be restored. And so this one group is, Liz Krogan. I'm sorry.
You did send me a link actually, which I will be putting into.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is coming up this Saturday on May 7th. So that, I want them to see that we are grassroots. We're going to get the children the help that they need, because we can't clearly rely on the government to do it. But Liz Krogan is supporting it. Mike Smith, who created Out of Shadows, he will actually be there. Mel K is going to be there. I'm going to be emceeing. We are, we're just standing up and we're saying we're going to not only, protect the children in the womb, we're going to protect the children who have been damaged by these people. And I just love that Elon Musk was calling them out. That was amazing. Then he also is one more. Oh, then she said, he brought out a post about Ghislaine Maxwell. Where is their client list? Shouldn't at least one of them go down? So that's huge, because every time he posts something, gazillions of people see it. Mm-hmm. This is exposing what they're doing. We post this stuff all the time, but he has an incredible reach, and to people who are more normies.
Absolutely. I think this is a really good point, what you're showing today, you're presenting today to the viewers, because we need to know and be aware when things are moving in the right direction.
Yes, it's very encouraging. Very encouraging. And and it's every day. You kind of got to get ready for the sucker punch, because you just never know what's going to, like this wonderful news about, Roe v. Wade being overturned, but you got the sucker punch with the guys who are leaking it and that kind of thing. Every day, it's just, I've never lived in a day like this where it's just the news every day. You just have to be bolstered and ready for anything, and just always knowing that, and this is one of my favorite Psalms, it talks about, Lord, rescue us from these evil people. The Psalms, I loved them before, but now I'm realizing, Lord, these people are pure evil. For them to, do what they do, it's just evil. And listen to this really interesting one, because you remember we were talking about the venom and the cobra venom. Look at this in Psalm 140. Oh, Lord, rescue me from evil people. Protect me from those who are violent, those who plot evil in their hearts and stir up trouble all day long. Their tongues sting like a snake. The venom of a viper drips from their lips. Doesn't that describe these people? That drips from their lips. They are like, I guess, taking snake venom. I mean, is that disgusting?
Absolutely.
But God was telling us in his word. And then the other thing is, look at this in Zechariah 9. And this is what I wrote my book. The first one was this one I showed you, End Times, right behind me, End Times and 1,000 Years of Peace, showing that we're headed to this beautiful days we always talk about, that we're not going to have these people, running roughshod over us anymore. But the most recent one I wrote was Major Clues from Minor Prophets. And so all these minor prophets, everybody thought, oh, this ancient history, who even cares what, it doesn't really have any effect on us. But look at this. In chapter 9 of verse 7, it says, I will grab the bloody meat from their mouths and snatch the detestable sacrifices from their teeth. To be honest, before all this happened, I just thought that was just ancient history. And this is just like crazy. And I never really paid attention to it. And now I realize that's what's happening right now. With what happened with Roe v. Wade and what's happening right now, with all of this being exposed, with Elon Musk exposing this on Twitter, all of this is what's happening. Their evil that they've been doing to children in the womb and outside the womb is coming to an end.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful. Very
Absolutely.
exciting.
Well, Melissa Redpill, it's been a great honor to have you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I know you want to show us more of your books. Like I'm going to say usually, is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Just here's where you can get it. If you want to get the book, they're really inexpensive online. The paperback is only $7.99 and $8.99. So, and also I've got tons of videos, 700 videos. If you want to really find out because we've been lied to. The religious institutions lied to us. And so I'm trying to look at this, as an awake patriot, and see what is really happening, and not the how they used it to deceive us, but how God was giving us clues that we didn't even realize. So anyway, it's very exciting news, and we're going to have beautiful days.
We will, and thank you so much, and we'll speak soon. God bless you, Melissa.
All right, have a great day. I'll see you soon. All right,
you too.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.